Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Fantastic Four issue 22. And this was a pretty good issue because we really got to see the dynamics of like Wolverine, Spidey, and Franklin and Valeria and how they kind of dealt with the whole Dark Harvest situation. So we start back off and we see that Nkala is pretty fucked up because she got stabbed by Wolverine. Granted, anybody would be. Uh, Franklin's pretty much digging into him a lot, and my only kind of thing is that, granted, a little bit of it needed. Wolverine's like, listen, Spidey's saying that there's a lot of shit going down. His danger sense is like off the charts. I did what I do. I'm sorry, let's patch her up and get this on. And it keeps getting harped on a little bit throughout this issue. It doesn't completely derail it, but it gets to a point where I'm like, listen, Wolverine, we had this covered a little bit. Let's just kind of get through this. And of course, Spidey can sense the whole Dark Harvest around them, and it's like, this is not good. And of course, they're trying to figure out what to do and how to kind of handle what's going on. And we see that Nkala is still kind of speaking to Alicia like she knows her. It's really kind of weird. We don't get any much more information on that because, well, she was stabbed in the chest by Wolverine. So they pretty much get her to get inside while Spidey is like talking with Sky. Sky's like, oh yeah, I'm Johnny's soulmate. Of course, that completely and utterly distraction. Like, what the hell? Spidey is so standout in this issue. It just, he works very well. I'm like, yeah, Spidey is like my favorite part of this. And then, of course, that's when the Dark Harvest decides to attack. It's like, oh god, freaking holy crap. So that's what he was talking about, because they like talk about how their psychic is distracted. So they're pretty much going after Joven. And we see that they're kind of trying to deal with everything at once. And Kala's still talking to Alicia like she knows her. She's like, yeah, just do whatever. Go to sleep now. And that she doesn't want to fight anymore. It's like, yeah, that's understandable. You've been grown up just fighting. It's like, holy crap. But they get her stabilized. Franklin and Valeria are like, all right, we got to have these holographic image inducers. If anything, I don't want to leave Alicia in here because we don't know what the Skrull's going to do. So one of us can like be Alicia and make sure that she doesn't get hurt. Of course, Alicia's thinking about, oh god, they could use this as pranks and screw over Ben. I'm like, yeah, but there's a time and a place, and if they're thinking that far ahead, screw it, because really you got like a Dark Ninja priest order coming to like kidnap some children and do some bad shit. And it's like, yeah, no, deal with that first. So as we're seeing outside, Wolverine and Spidey are kind of having their hands full dealing with this whole thing. Sky helps out and tries to protect Joven, but gets pretty much impaled with all these poisonous darts. Like, oh crap, and they get him. And their whole thing was to like pretty much read his mind, which was really taxing and pretty much almost killed him. But to get like this Omni Wave Kree device that can send thoughts or destroy minds, it's like, oh god, that would be really bad in the Kotati hands. We had also seen in the beginning that like we got pretty much some rundown of what's going on with Empire, with what like Reed and the rest of them. It's like, yeah, I sent my kids to kind of deal with this as this is going on. We do catch up with them towards the end of the issue, but of course they're trying to escape with Joven. And well, they're like, all right, let's get the Skrull Girl just to have everything hashed out. And Spidey was pretty much getting beaten up by this kind of like oak dude. He's like, yeah, I'm here to pretty much now take on the Thing. Too bad he's not here. But they go inside. It's like, wow, it's bigger on the inside. Doctor Who kind of reference. And they're going through. It's like, hey, yeah, that Skrull lady used this to summon this weird kind of Fantastic Four. I wonder where the rest of them are. And then we see Ghost Rider and Hulk's mash in, but they seem very off with how their dialogue's going. And we see that the Hulk is able to do a smash, but it looks kind of weird and cosmic-y. It's like, okay. And they're like, screw that. Now, granted, if you had that Fantastic Four team of the Spirit of Vengeance, the Immortal Hulk, Wolverine, and Spidey, that's a pretty powerful Fantastic Four team to go up against. Now, granted, with Franklin's power set, if it wasn't going all fritzy hoo-ha, he'd pretty much fulfill that kind of power role. But of course, they're like, screw this. They're kind of going. Wolverine tries to chase after him, but the Dart Lady, I shall call her. Flings some more poison, a lot of fucking poison darts at him. He's like, ah, shit. As he's like, pretty much his healing factor trying to compensate for like getting killed. And Spidey's like, alright, I'll try and do his trackers. They're not able to do it, so they get back inside. And we just see them kind of recuperating and kind of taking stock of what's going on. Spidey, of course, is talking to this guy and they're like, tell me more about that soulmate kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, because I wasn't invited to the other wedding. And I'm like, he wasn't. And I'm like, damn it! Spidey should have been at that wedding. I'm like, aw. And then, of course, Franklin's freaking out. He's like, listen, we need more people. This did not work out well. Can you get some more mutants on? He's like, dude. Krakoa, all our portals are plant-based, dude. Are you just... Woohoo! And of course he keeps kind of goading Franklin a little. He's like, you want me to deal with it like this? And punches him. He's like, yeah, that's a little bit better. So they kind of get that a little bit out of the way, a little bit of Wolverine's kind of stabbing thing, and Franklin freaking out. Now granted, Franklin does have, he tried to do the best that he could. Him and Val have. I mean, granted, it's a screwed up situation that there's an invasion that has popped off. They have to protect two kids that want to kill each other, and then it just keeps spiraling. I understand that. He's stressed. He's pissed off. He doesn't know if his powers are going to completely and utterly leave him at a certain critical point in this juncture and just leave them all screwed. And that's, of course, when their dad calls. And, of course, they tell him the truth that everything was going on. I was like, yeah, that kind of sucks, but you're doing what you're doing. No big deal. And, of course, Larry brings up, I don't think your thing worked out very well. We only have Spidey and Wolverine. He's like, well, let me kind of send you what you kind of need. And we see that Spidey and Wolverine get from the Fabricator. They're kind of Fantastic Four ones. And I really like it because they don't have the traditional Fantastic Four thing. Wolverine's got his X-Men logo on it, and Spidey's got his Spider-Man symbol on it. And I'm like, but the suits are pretty cool. All their suits were pretty much shredded to crap by the Dark Harvest. And I'm like, listen, they didn't call the two other ones because it's completed. You're my son, you're my daughter. You guys have this. Go out there and do it. And, of course, Spidey and Wolverine deferred and was like, alright, what do we do? I'm going to get Jo-Ben. We're going to beat those guys. We're going to look cool doing it. Pretty much Val's words. I'm like, there you go. You got knocked down. You got to go. You got to save that kid. Make sure that they don't do an ultimate Kree super weapon that could potentially screw us even more in the war with the Kotati. So, yeah, go do that. It's an interesting Fantastic Four team that they've got set up with, of course, the two Reed children and Wolverine and Spidey. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that kind of play out. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.